Clear. Question says, with regards to someone such as yourself who has some knowledge, who's traveled overseas to go to an ISNA or ICNA conference, etc. Question is, or the answer would be a simple answer and a detailed answer. The simple answer is a yes and a no. For some brothers, it's permissible to go. Other brothers, it's impermissible to go. And the detail is, what is the description of this brother and what is the purpose of him going? To give a lecture, to speak about a certain thing? Is he making a situation better? Is he making a situation worse? What is ICNA? What is ISNA? What is wrong with ICNA? What is wrong with ISNA? Etc. Everybody understand this? So obviously in 2017, we are plagued with extremism from more than one front. There are some brothers who may say, if there's a student of knowledge who's supposed to be Salafi, he cannot go to any conference or masjid unless the masjid and conference is also Salafi, quote unquote. And they're very strong and decisive about this ruling. And then there are other brothers who may say, a student of knowledge who's supposed to be Salafi, quote unquote, he can go wherever he wants to go and do whatever he wants to do, and lecture and speak in any masjid that he wants. Khairan, inshallah. So who's right? The Republicans or the Democrats? Both sides have their ways of looking at it. Both sides may have things that these sides consider to be dalil. We didn't say it's dalil, but they have things that they consider what? Dalil. Everybody understand this? And then we also have lack of detail from both sides. Some brothers are absolute, some brothers are absolute. Everybody clear on this? The bottom line is, if that a student of knowledge who has the necessary qualifications, the necessary education, if he can go to a conference and teach that which is correct and propagate that which is correct, and he himself not cooperate upon that which is clearly incorrect, then the asl, the default ruling, is that it's mandatory to give da'wah. The default ruling is that it's highly recommended to give da'wah. The default ruling is that a Muslim is to benefit his brothers and sisters from among the Muslims. ICNA, ISNA, this masjid, that masjid, so on and so forth. If a brother does not have the proper qualifications, he does not have the proper knowledge, he's going to a conference, ICNA, ISNA, or any other conference, in which he is going to be directly cooperating upon that which is ithm and udwan, and he is not teaching the truth and speaking the truth, then that's a different what? That's a different story. Everybody clear on this? So we say that it depends on the student of knowledge, and it depends on the conference. And also, if you want to get technical, ICNA or ISNA or any other group or organization, oftentimes, when certain brothers say certain things, you say, why can't Fulan teach at this masjid? Because the Salaf were never with the innovators. The Salaf Salih, they were never with the innovators. They never sat with the innovators. They never argued with the innovators. Type. Okay, no problem. We're not going to argue that because you haven't read the books of the Salaf Salih and Ahl Hadith. Alright? And if you actually read and studied those books, you'll find something totally contrast to what you've been spoon-fed with regards to taking from an innovator, sitting with an innovator, debating with an innovator. You just took one thought from one sheikh, but you actually haven't read Sahih Bukhari. And if you did, and if you knew what you were talking about, you would never say what you're saying. Absolutely. Secondly is, you ask yourself the question, why is ISNA or ICNA innovator? Why are they innovators? Tafaddal. Why are they innovators? What did they do of innovation? What made them innovators? Tafaddal. What are they going to say? They're Ikhwan al-Muslimin. So, is everybody at ICNA ISNA conference Ikhwan al-Muslimin? What is Ikhwan al-Muslimin? A political group? A dawah group? You may go to some masjid and say, oh, they're black nationalists at that masjid. Or they haven't freed themselves from Fulan. Is that innovation? Is that bid'ah? For me, I say that Khalid, I don't think he's an innovator. So because I don't agree that you consider him deviant, is that innovation? Or why don't you say, well, Muhammad ibn Munir? They may say, Mufti, he got problems, The ulama, he made mistakes in jar wa tadil. They can't even pronounce the word properly. They say jar wa tadil. He made mistakes. He's been refuted on the internet. Okay, no problem. He was refuted. Does someone being refuted, is that an act of what? And does that make them an innovator? Obviously, if you get this point or this far in the conversation, they're going to become upset. They're going to start to stutter, and they may start talking about you and trying to defame you. But I just ask one simple basic question. In other words, you yourself don't have the necessary knowledge, nor do you have the necessary confidence in your own argument. And the proof is that you can't answer these basic, simple questions. Let alone the fact that if you want to actually get into the issue, is it permissible to go to a masjid or conference of actual innovation? From the Quran and Sunnah standpoint, let alone what the Sahaba and the Tabi'een did. Did Imam Ahmed narrate from Ahlul Bidah? Did he narrate from someone from the Qadariyah, from the Murji'ah? Are there narrators who were from the Khawarij and Sahih Bukhari? And the list goes on. If the answer is yes, then it obviously proves that there is no ijma'. And if there's no ijma', then how are you going to force me into taking a view and opinion that's not from Kitab Sunnah of ijma'? If it's not directly from Kitab Sunnah and ijma', then it has to be an issue of what? Ijtihad. And if it's an issue of ijtihad, of personal differing, then you cannot what? Force me into it. You may be right, I may be right. But you cannot declare me to be wrong because I don't take your what? Own ijtihad. So once again, Sheikh, it depends on the person. And what's the purpose of going? What's the purpose of what? Of going. Everybody understand this? Wallahu alam.